Okay. If everybody would please rise and salute our flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. This is a meeting of the Hillsdale Borough Council on the 10th day of March 2015. Notice of time and place of this meeting has been provided to the Ridgewood News, Pascack Press, The Record, and Community Light. A copy was posted on the bulletin board outside of this meeting room provided to any interested parties. Please notify the municipal clerk for any disability requirements necessary for attendance at mayor and council meetings. The fire records are located through the double doors to your left. Please silence all cell phones and pages, and I remind everyone to please speak into the microphone. Roll call, please.
Councilmember DeGeis?
Here.
Councilmember DeRosa?
Here.
Councilmember Lewis?
Here.
Councilmember Myerson? Councilmember Rocco?
Here.
Council President Pizzella?
Here.
Okay. Do I have to receive the letter first of Ryan Menace, or is it done?
You can receive the letter, yeah. We had that last week. I might not put it in the notes last week.
But did we vote last week? I don't remember.
No, that's what I'm saying. Do it this week. It was in your packet.
Yeah, but where is it?
Let me see if I-
Just bear with me for a minute. There isn't a letter here, but Chris, if you would make a motion to approve Ryan as a cadet.
Sure.
And then we'll vote on it, and then we'll swear him in.
Okay, motion to approve Ryan Ennis as a cadet to the Hillsdale Fire Department.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Chris, if you would, Ryan, come on up with your family, chief. Peter, why don't you take the pictures so she can be in the picture? Come on, finally doesn't know how to take a picture? Okay, the easiest thing is instead of trying to listen to me, we read it, I read it, and say something. I, Ryan Ennis.
I, Ryan Ennis, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the State of New Jersey and that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same and to the governments established in the United States in the state, under the authority of the people. I do solemnly swear that I will faithfully, impartially, and justly perform all of the duties of the office of Hillsdale Fire Cadet Department, according to the best of my ability, so help me God.
Congratulations. Who you got in the picture? Ryan, you have to sign this. I got one. I don't need a vote on Sean, right? I
This
just,
is the mayor's appointment, right? The
yeah, and he needs an oath of office?
Yeah. Everybody else says
All right.
yeah.
Who's this is not police. Hillsdale, just so everyone knows, has a historic preservation committee. And the committee has been kind of inactive for a while. And I've been putting a few new people on. I put Peter on a year ago or so. Now Sean, if you people don't know, Sean has written 2 books now. And you're working on a third? And if you haven't seen the books, they're at the library. And they're magnificent. And it tells the history of the Hillsdale Police. So, we'll swear you in. I, Sean Smith,
I, Sean Smith,
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
of the State of New Jersey,
of the State of New Jersey,
and that I will bear
true faith and allegiance
True
to the
faith.
same. I have my glasses in the other hand. You need these to put them on.
true faith and allegiance to the same
And the government established
and the government established
in the United States
in the United States
and in this state
and in this state
under the authority of the people.
under the authority of the people.
I do solemnly swear
I do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully,
that I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly perform
and justly perform
all the duties
all the duties
of the Committee of the Historic Preservation
of the Committee of the Historic Preservation
for the Borough of Hillsdale
for the Borough of Hillsdale
for a one-year term
for a one-year term
ending December 31st, 2015,
ending December 31st, 2015,
according to the best of my ability,
according to the best of my ability,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, we have some recognition of the George White girls basketball team, but they have something else, so as soon as they come in, we'll recognize them. We have a proclamation, and I think this is important. It's Poison Prevention Week. People in my generation, we think of poison as arsenic and other things. Today, it's prescription drugs that unfortunately kids get into, and it's the leading cause of death. So I'd like to read this. Whereas the Congress designated the third full week in March to be Poison Prevention Week in 1961, and since then, this week has helped to raise awareness of the dangers of potentially poisonous medicines, household chemicals, and other substances. Whereas poison centers across the country will focus the public's attention on identifying poisoning hazards at home, as well as learning ways to prevent poisoning emergencies. And whereas unintentional poisoning is the leading cause of unintentional injury, death in New Jersey, and whereas approximately half of all reported poisoning exposures involve children under 6 years of age. Whereas the majority of poisoning to death occur in adults aged 20 to 59, and whereas every poisoning is preventable from the youngest to the oldest, all people and even pets are at risk. Whereas poison experts urge parents and caregivers to give single-load liquid laundry packets out of sight and reach of young children. These products can cause serious harm if ingested. And whereas consumers must be aware that e-cigarette devices, hookah pipes, and liquid nicotine may contain very high doses of nicotine in enticing colors, aromas, and flavors, inducing the likelihood that small children and pets will be drawn to them. These products pose serious risk of poisoning. And whereas New Jersey Poison Information Education System, a division of the Department of Preventive Medicine and Community Health, New Jersey Medical School at Rutgers, the State University of New Jersey provides free expert medical advice, drug information, and poison prevention education to residents through the 800 number, 800-222-1222, Poison Help Hotline. And whereas all services are free, confidential, multilingual, and available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, even during bouts of Mother Nature. And whereas poison centers save time and money by managing most cases at home, not requiring a visit to the emergency room. And this is a long one, I'm sorry, but it's important. New Jersey poison experts encourage all residents to program the Poison Helpline 800-222-1222 into their home, office, and cell phone because a rapid response can make the difference in preventing serious injury and saving lives. Whereas NJPIES is involved with the state's efforts in homeland defense, counterterrorism, emergency preparedness and response, and to biosurveillance, and surveillance for clusters of poisoning and their sources, products, food, beverages, chemicals in the workplace and at home, environmental toxins, drugs, medicine, and animal and insect bites and stings, whereas the Poison Center is instrumental in managing exposure during major storms like Superstorm Sandy. Whereas the use of poison centers save residents both time and money, most cases are managed in the convenience of the caller's home, requiring no hospital visit. I, therefore, Max Harnowitz, Mayor of the Borough of Hillsdale, do hereby proclaim the week of March 15th to the 21st as National Poison Prevention Week in New Jersey, and encourage all citizens to pledge their commitment to ensuring the safety of themselves and their family and their community. Thank you. We have no presentations. I need approval. We have the work session February 3rd, regular meeting February 10th. Motion, please.
Motion.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Just let me know if you don't know who
Yeah, it worked out well last time when they said.
Okay.
that.
the, that way I don't have Councilman Lewis banging the voting.
Mayor, just a quick question for Sue. I had given some minor comments to you on the minutes. I voted yes on them, assuming that you would review them and then.
Yes, I did. There's only two things that I didn't change because the one was what you had said in there and there was something else. But I did everything else, so I
Okay.
can explain to you what I had done.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Thank you for reading.
Closed session meeting February 3rd and February 10th. Motion to approve.
Motion.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we got the borough engineer report last week. There's no one from the ambulance corps here. We got DPW last week. Anything else on the fire, Chris?
No.
Okay. Health department?
No, we didn't have a meeting this month.
Lieutenant Smith, you said you had something else? Actually, why don't you put that over there when you're done? Well, there's a holder there.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Lieutenant Smith, Hillsdale Police Department. Just one small item. We spoke about history earlier. We're going to get rid of a little history. The school closing fire siren. After consulting with the Hillsdale Board of Education and the Hillsdale Fire Department, a determination has been made that we will no longer sign the fire siren between the hours of 6 a.m. and 7 a.m. We just agreed that there's way too many forms now of communication, and this is probably the oldest fashion, so we're going to phase that out.
Thank you.
And in closing, I
Pager
just...
wakes me up when they do
Yeah.
that.
Way too many sirens. And in closing, I'd just like to say the chief and I are very proud of our 18-man department, and you should be too, and so should the community. And we look forward to serving you.
We are.
Good evening.
Okay, anything on Stony Brook? Anthony? Frank?
No, we've got a meeting on Thursday. Well, the budget we're going on tonight. With the approval of the budget, they'll have their rates, and they'll be poised to send out membership letters and perhaps even a postcard to boost membership. So they're waiting on that from us.
Okay, motion to approve all of the professional reports?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, old business. Anything new on the update of the sports agreement?
Not yet. I'm waiting for clarification on one point, and then next month I will have it for discussion with the council.
Okay. Update Tandy Allen property, Frank, Open Space Institute.
Yeah, the Open Space Institute has reached a tentative agreement with the property owners of Tandy Allen, and they're in the process of putting that down in writing. we have presented before the Bergen County Open Space Committee on the property, and we have been reached by the Bergen County Open Space Committee, who has now is asking for us to confirm that we will, in fact, accept ownership of the property, provided that title is returned clean and the environmental assessment comes back clean. So I need to get a consensus from council if we're still of the same mind that we were a few months ago, because they're going to begin their due diligence. So if we say to them we're not interested, they will not spend the money in doing the engineering, the due diligence on the environmental, and also do the title search, which comes to about $15,000 to $20,000. If we're still of like mind, they're going to move forward, spend the money, and they're also going to draft the contract. I believe that we had voted in the past, but there are some council members that may not remember that or have disagreed. So I'm prepared to move to confirm that we will accept the property contingent upon a clean environmental as well as a clean title search. But it's...
Could I ask?
Motion when you're ready.
Well, hold on, Chris.
Should we discuss prior to the motion or have the motion first?
No, I'll get a motion and a second, then
Okay.
discussion. Frank, when you're done, then make a motion, if you want a motion.
Yeah, I mean, so that's basically it. We can still, if the environmental reports come back bad or the title search comes back bad, we can still opt out. We can also still opt out right before the money is transferred. They just want our commitment that pending those two items, provided a contract is signed, that we are going to take ownership of the property. So I will move to confirm that the town will take ownership of the Tandy Island property, provided that OSI and the property owners confirm a written agreement conditioned upon a clean assessment of the environmental status of the property, as well as a clean title search.
Okay, second?
Second.
Discussion?
Yeah, I have a couple questions. You mentioned, one of the questions I had was, by agreeing to this, are we bound to it regardless of the outcome? And then you ended up saying, even though we're committing to it, we're actually not committing to it.
Well, we're committed to taking the property, but until the money is actually transferred, it's my understanding that we can, like any other grant, we can always say, we're not interested anymore.
It puts a very sour
Yes.
taste in the county's
Yeah.
mouth, though, if you do that
Right.
with this type of property. I was one of the original voters that I voted no for this, only because, and I'm probably one of the advocates for open space in town, is that 8 or 9 acres, I don't know the exact delineation of it, is no matter what going to be open space for us. It's never going to be developed because it's in wetlands. So really, I think we're going around, the most I think that can go there, and Mayor, you know better than the planning board, I think is 3 houses up front. So
That's what's before the
I
planning board.
don't see what the benefit is for $1 million of open space money going to a property that we're already going to have 8 or 9 acres no matter what we do, open space.
9 acres.
9 acres. I don't want to say exact numbers because I wasn't sure. And that was my potential before, and I know that was one of the questions at the county level they're starting to raise is what's the acreage that is going to be saved versus the acreage that is going to be wetlands anyway in perpetuity with the property.
Well, I will say that I believe it was Councilman Myerson was contacted by the county about what Jason just said about the open space, the undevelopable versus developable. Chrissy, you weren't done.
Another question I had is, was anything found out what, even if it's open space, what we can use it for? There were some questions I remember at our last discussion, whether open space is considered a park or open space is considered a field. Was that addressed at the county, when you were at the county meeting? What exactly we can use open space for? Is it completely undeveloped open space? Like, can we put a park there? Can we put a field, even if it's not a regulation to have games, but even a practice field?
It's my understanding that it is really dependent on the deed restriction that they put into the contract when they transfer the property, the people who are transferring the property to us. Open space is considered any passive recreational use. So you can put a park there, walking trails. You just can't it can't be, you may also be able to put fields there, but it's mostly wet, so it's going to be very difficult.
Well, I'm talking about the 3 acres up front. I'm not talking about the wetlands in the back, because I think everybody agrees and everybody understands that those 9 acres are not buildable, whether the borough owns it or whether a developer
You
gets
could probably do
it.
something with the 3 acres. The 9 acres will be determined by the Wetlands Act and what you can or cannot do on wetlands. Because there's wetland buffer, and then the front.
And that's been confirmed to us, that the 9 acres and then the buffer is wetlands regardless of whether Hillsdale owns it or a developer owns it.
Right.
And then the last question I have, I remember at one point it was in front of the building, in front of the planning board. It still is. So there is an option
Right.
out there.
So I want to get back to both those questions. So the first one is, again, it is dependent on the deed restriction that the transfer puts in the contract when they transfer the documentation when they transfer the property to us. It's my understanding, though, that open space with the county is a little more flexible than I believe what the environmental group is looking to do. They're looking to have us preserve this property in perpetuity as just plain passive open space. The second question that you had, I'm sorry, remind me,
No, I just wanted to clarify whether with the planning board, whether Hillsdale owns
Yes.
the land or whether the land is developed, 9 acres of it is maintained as open space, regardless of who owns it.
The property owners are pursuing 2 different options. So while they're negotiating with OSI and getting this agreement done to keep the property as a preserved site, they're also pursuing their application with the planning board. I believe that they're on tomorrow night. I believe that they're on tomorrow night. So, but they have been very vocal about their preference in having the property preserved as open space.
Okay, thank you.
Economically, because I know you're big into economically, does it make sense for us to take 3 potential homes off the tax roll and go with this plan versus letting those 3 lots be developed and having some benefit of taxing them?
I can understand the argument of not wanting to lose ratables. I also, however, believe that in that area right there on Hillsdale Avenue, you really have a tremendous impact on traffic and some other things going on there. I also think that by allowing the houses to be built there, you sort of change the character and the environment of that entire sort of open space. In addition, we got to remember what we're also planning to do. I mean, we hired an economic advisor who's going to start to walk us through assessing the town for some growth. And I think that this dovetails nicely with our approach in pursuing economic growth, because as we're doing that, we're also looking to preserve a really nice, unique piece of property. So, yeah, I'm definitely for economic growth, but I think that in this particular situation, I don't think that it's the most effective building houses in that specific spot. I think it really does have quite a bit of impact.
I have another question. Have we consulted with our economic advisor? Developer, I forget his title, but since we have him now, did we consult him on this particular property? Because it actually sounds like a great thing to consult him on to see what his take on it. And I know he hasn't done a complete assessment of the town,
Right.
but it kind of actually, since you mentioned it, falls into exactly why we brought him on board.
We have not, because he has focused exclusively on the budget. We haven't really started doing the whole economic development portion of it.
What's the timing on our commitment? Do we need to do something soon, or?
Commitment to?
to approve going ahead with it?
Well, yeah, we need to get, because the county, and I left this out, the county, I got this call the other day, the county is making their decision on whether to give OSI this money to purchase the property or not. They may not get it, but it sort of looks very positive, as evidenced by the callback.
From talking with Robert DeMarco, I don't think we're under a time restriction here for this month to get this done. According from his office, they haven't even reviewed it at the committee level.
Who is Robert?
From the county open space.
Okay.
From Larry's conversation with him is, they're still at committee level with it, so I don't think we're under a time crunch to do it this very tonight.
Can we consult can we consult Mr. Beneke and ask him, even though he's focusing on the budget, if he could kind of look at this and see what he feels, balancing the open space versus balancing the financial impact?
Well, yeah, I'd like to respond to them. The one thing that I don't understand, we can definitely do that. It's my understanding, though, that we really do have to get back to them. I'm a little taken aback, though, by Councilman Meyerson. I thought he was he recused himself from this specific matter because he was there. But then at the same time, I don't understand.
I think he was I'm speaking out of turn, but I think he was at some place where this person was, and this person spoke to him.
It wasn't something that he was asked. Bottom line is, as a resident, as a councilman, they asked him what, I don't even know who he was talking to. They asked him what the configuration of the property was, what's developable, what's not, and asked if this didn't go through, what would be left. And I would assume, Councilman Meyerson said, 9 acres are undevelopable because of the wetlands, and 3 acres are, or 3 building lots are.
Right, they asked me the same thing when we presented.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything nefarious about that. It was just probably in passing, someone either on the board or someone at the county level that's involved in this.
Look, it's my understanding that they want to hear back from us. I received an email to that effect that I forwarded.
You made a motion. It's it's up for vote. The only way I can pull it is if a vote's taken to table it, or if you pull your motion. Otherwise, the vote goes forward. So it's really your decision. You can pull it, or a motion could be made to table. But
Do we have time to table to the next meeting?
I'm sorry, you can't, Meredith, you can't do that.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Yeah, it's my understanding, having sat out in the audience last year, that the prior council, by vote, had decided to support this.
It did. Frank brought this up tonight. He feels he needs another confirming vote.
And I think we had a number of representatives from the community come and tell us the advantages of doing this. And I was a supporter of their cause. I think that if you develop those 3 acres, that you will affect the remaining viability of the remaining 9 acres that are protected right now and will remain ever undeveloped. That's my own view. I am attracted to the fact of having more open space in town in that area. And I just thought that we were prepared to move ahead with this. I thought that the council had argued the issues relevantly and then had decided to move ahead, not unanimously. I can't remember the exact vote. I think Larry had to recuse himself, if I remember.
The vote will probably go the same way it went then, but your fellow council person brought up a motion.
And we talked about the economic loss measured financially in dollars in cents.
No, we never had it for.
No, we never had, but we talked about the ranges and what it meant for the town to lose the ability to develop those 3 acres, those 3 lots. And we talked also about how that wasn't, in the scheme of things, although every buck counts, for the town, it wasn't a large amount. And we made the judgment we made the judgment from thinking about the benefits to the town of having open space and a preserved area of wildlife, that was something that we as a council wanted to take a stand for, despite the giving up of tax revenue. So I'm just surprised that we're at the point now where we're rethinking again what we rethought of back in summer and then fall.
Right. And I agree. I think the reason why I'm asking for the confirming vote is because I'd like to put this to rest. The other thing that I'd like to also point out is that the property owners did appear before us, and they really did express their desire to have the property preserved. I don't want to interfere with someone's sort of enjoyment of their property. If this property owner doesn't wish to have us preserve this property, then they will not enter into an agreement with OSI, and that thing will fall below the wayside. If they do choose to have the property preserved, and that's their preference, then they will continue to put their agreement to writing, and they will not pursue their planning board application. I don't believe that we should stand in the way by denying them one of the options. Again, I do want to emphasize that this property does protect the watershed. It is predominantly wet. There are other things we could do in the uplands with it, and it really truly would impact the traffic. I think there may even need to be some road modifications that need to be made in that area. So we don't really know the full impacts of it on the people who live in the surrounding area.
Well, any road improvement would be deemed necessary, would be done by the planning board with the developer. As far as the impact, Jason, we presently receive in the area $26,000 a year in tax revenue. The potential tax revenue that we would receive from 3 houses with the lot size that they would be in the $18,000 to $20,000 per home. So you're talking about $60,000. I mean, yeah, $60,000 at the max. There was some discussion about the impact on schools, and according to the superintendent, the one that left when I spoke to him, there's really no impact. The fact that 6 to 7 kids potentially would join Smith School and eventually George White is not something that would cause any additional cost to the town. So that's the financial impact. $26,000 presently, maybe $80,000 according to what the planning board approves or doesn't approve.
And what the owner chooses to do, given the options.
I don't know what you mean.
Well, if the owner prefers to have the property preserved, we wouldn't get a dime in increased tax revenue because the owner would enter into an agreement with OSI and the property would be preserved as is. If the owner chooses to...
No, the property can't be preserved unless the council approves it.
Right, but if the owner chooses to enter into an agreement with OSI and not pursue its planning board application or not pursue its planning board approvals,
yeah, of
I mean,
course,
it's the property owner gets to do what he wants.
The decision rests with the mayor and council, or with the council, as to whether or not the council wants to take the property on. The town will then have to maintain the property, but as Councilman Roca said, a vote was taken. It was, I think, 3-2, but I'm not sure. The point is, Frank is allowed to ask for any kind of vote or re-vote at any time. A motion was made, a second was made. So now we're at the point where you either vote on it or table it or withdraw the motion.
Mayor, I'd like to hear why we're under a time frame for it has to be tonight, if anybody knows.
I started off explaining that. I was contacted by OSI asking me if I can please get confirmation. It's been several months. If I can please get confirmation that we are still, it's right here.
Not from the county, though. The county's not giving
They
us
were
that kind of tonight.
they were contacted by the county. You know, I can read you the email if you want, but
I don't really care what OSI wants. I care more what the county deadlines are, because I've been involved in open space for a long time, and it's very rare for the county to put a pending restriction on an urgent vote on a
But the county is seeking to make their recommendation to the freeholders next week about who to give the money to. And OSI is the people who are going to actually spend the money to do the environmental assessment on the property and the title search and all the soft costs. They're saying to us, look, before we waste everybody's time, Hillsdale, do you really want to take this property or
It's
not?
not even at a committee level at the county, so I don't understand how the
Sure
county-
it is. It was,
Frank, could it be, Jason made a comment that the county doesn't take favorably when you turn down a grant. This same property was, we were taking possession of this property through county open space many years ago for the library. Could it be because of us not doing that project and now want to reconfirm our intentions?
I think that's part of it. I think the county is aware that the property owner is pursuing a planning board application and reasonably and I think that also the county probably understands that there might be people on council or people in the area that don't want us to take the property over. So before they waste their time and they give money to us that they can give to somebody else, they want to know if we're interested in doing this, if we're going to be committed and then see it through. If we're not, then so be it. That's why I think we should just vote and move on. I mean, if we're not going to be committed, then just vote no. If you don't want to do it, you vote no. If you do want to do it, you vote yes.
All right. Is there any other discussion?
No.
Frank, you're not pulling it, right?
No, I'm not.
Okay, so I have a motion and a second. Why don't we do a roll call, please? If there's no other discussion.
Councilmember DeGeis?
No.
Councilmember DeRosa?
Yes?
Councilmember Lewis?
Yes.
Councilmember Rocco?
Yes.
Council President Pizzella?
Yes.
Okay, new business. We have a sample ordinance for snow removal around fire hydrants. Thank God there's not an emergent nature of this.
I think my understanding is that it went before the fire chief as well as our, what's Blankenbush's title? I don't know.
Fire official.
Our fire official, and they want to re-look at some things and tweak some things, so I think we're going to look at this next month.
Okay, I will make one comment that I noticed, and Jason and Chris, you could take it back to the fire board, but most importantly, if we pass this and we start giving residents tickets, which I don't have a problem with, we darn well better do our own on borough property.
I do mine.
No,
On Piermont.
borough.
Oh, I thought you meant mine in front of my house.
No, borough. We are probably one of the biggest defenders of not doing borough property that we take over or we own, or where there's municipal buildings that we don't shovel out in a quick nature, or hydrants. So what's good for the goose is good for the gander. All right, we'll leave it off until you guys bring it back to us again.
Should we do the school now?
What?
The school? Seems that the team is here.
Yeah, I know. But are we done with the hydrant thing?
Yes.
Okay. We're now going to honor our George White girls basketball team. I just want you to know how this came before us. One of the parents made numerous emails, phone calls, and drove me crazy, and he knows who he is. But I'm very proud of you girls. 14-0. That's outstanding. So, Anthony, if you join me down there. How do you want to do it? Do you want to come up one at a time, or do you want to all come up? Does the coach want to say something?
Yeah.
Mike, just give your name and address for them. You want to face them, or you want to sit?
I'll talk to the council, I'll go back.
I'll give you plenty of photo op, don't worry.
My name's Patrick Walden. I'm a resident of Glen Rock, New Jersey, but I teach science at George White Middle School. I just would like to say good evening to you, Mr. Mayor Arnowitz, council members, Principal Bergamini, our athletic director, Jen Mayone, parents, our Hawks, our residents, and friends. I have the privilege and honor to introduce the George White Middle School girls basketball team tonight. These student athletes exemplify dedication and hard work that it requires to be remembered as an indomitable team. With a record of 14 wins and 0 losses, we were the Northern Bergen Middle School Athletic League regular season and tournament champions. And if I could introduce the team members to you.
I have certificates.
Oh, even better.
So what I'd like you to do is if you could read their names and we'll hand them out. But first I want to give you yours. Congratulations. Okay, just make sure. Let me ask you guys, is this in your wife to take the picture? You want me to move the podium? Sure. Like husband, like wife?
No, I know. Do you need them to speak into it? Anthony, somebody needs to speak into the mic.
Okay. Whoever got announced, why don't you come back? Kelly, Melanie,
Come back and get your
Come back here, and then you guys can get a picture.
Come back here.
Can you guys all, yeah, just come back and stand behind the table and.
So then that way you guys can take one group picture.
Keep going.
Colleen Coyle.
There you go.
Okay.
Nicole Cray is not with us this evening.
Okay, why don't you hold on to that?
Isabella Garabo.
Turn around. Okay.
Kate Henderson. Mackenzie Klink. Skylar Murphy. Nicole Perron. Paige Skeen.
Can I embarrass you anymore?
Brianna Smith.
Just so everybody knows, Brianna's brother got an award here, and she told me that night she will one day get one. The 8th grade, George White winning.
Congratulations. Congratulations.
I just wanted to say something real quick. I was lucky enough to be at that game. And it was what should be your last game, your 14th game, and it was truly a great game. Edge of our seat, there was not a seat open in the place. I had to stand in a corner, and that's what it's about. That's what it's about, girls. You guys played as a team. You were so great with each other. I was lucky enough to see a few of your games this year, and you brought everybody there. All age groups were there looking and supporting you, and you should really be proud of you guys because that's what it's about. It's about giving that positive image to the school and being great role models and just being proud of what you do and your accomplishments, and you guys earned it. I mean, I think it was ended up a 5-point game, but I mean, it looked like it could have gone either way, and just congratulations. I was very lucky to have been there, and I thank you for that.
All right, go home and do your homework now.
Bye-bye, thank you.
Okay, we have correspondence. First one is the letter of resignation dated February 23rd from Doreen Ayer, our previous CFO, as of December 19, 2014. Motion, please.
Second.
Second. I'm going to ask for all in favor. You tell me otherwise. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Electronic message requesting permission from my Environmental Commission to use Veterans Park for annual Green Fair, Sunday, April 26th, between the hours of 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. Motion?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? 3, letter dated March 6th from the Pascack Bible Church asking permission to conduct service project cleaning up Beechwood Park and adjoining woods and athletic field, Sunday, April 26th. Motion?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
Just so you know, the DPW superintendent informed me of this. They are doing everything at their expense. They're also going to work on the band shell. They're going to do quite a bit of work in that park, and I'm very appreciative. And I would assume they need help. So anyone that can help them, I won't be around, but anyone else that can help them, please go to Beechwood Park. So we had a motion, a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Did I do that yet?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Letter from Elisa Correri asking permission to hold a Delete Blood Cancer Drive Sunday, April 18, 2015, in conjunction with the Friends of the Pascack Brook event in Veterans Park. That's the fishing contest. I don't know what she can get, but I don't think there's any problem with it.
They're not going to actually be drawing blood, they're just going to be
No, no,
taking
they're
swabs
just swabs.
to match for future use.
But she might want to look into doing it when the green people are there too.
Green.
Green team. So a motion on this request.
Motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Letter from the NJDEP regarding Green Acres Project number 0227-12013, Hillsdale flood-prone properties, canceling the project for lack of progress in the amount of $325,000. That was a matching grant, and we didn't have the matching funds. Motion?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
Oh, that's money. Should I do a vote? Yeah. Roll call, please.
Councilmember DeGeis?
Yes.
Councilmember DeRosa?
Yes.
Councilmember Lewis?
Yes.
Councilmember Rocco?
Yes.
Council President Pizzella?
Yes.
Okay, is this public contact for the ordinances, or is that the public
No,
contact?
it's just public comment.
Okay, at this point in time, I'm going to open up the meeting to the public. Anyone wishing to address the council, please come to the microphone, give your name and address. No one? Ann?
Ann Cron, 187 Magnolia Avenue. I was just wondering if anybody had taken note of Liberty Avenue between Trinity and Grove Street. It's just east of George White School, going up Liberty, that it's starting to collapse. It had been collapsing.
Is that where we had the sewer collapse in the past?
And Keith had patched it, but
Yeah.
now about 30 feet east.
Okay,
There-
I
about
did the
30
first
feet.
I'm hearing. I'll see if you
Yeah.
could notify Donnie. Just for the new people on council, we had a pipe collapse up there, and about 2 years ago, 3 years ago, which is, I don't think it was that far up, so. it
Well,
might be-
there's now a second
Probably the
spot.
same
yeah.
pipe.
But it's probably the same pipe, but it's another place. And with the snow, once the snow melted, it's really deep.
Okay,
Okay,
so,
we'll notify him tomorrow morning.
Okay,
you.
fine, thank you.
anyone else? Yes, ma'am.
Julie Askins, 87 Oak Trail Road. I'd like to thank the council for your continued support of the Tandy Woods endeavor. I'm sorry I missed the initial presentation. I was coming home from the city, and it was a pretty bad commute tonight, but I really appreciate the efforts that you're making, and I appreciate the support. I've been walking through the woods for the past 2 weeks on my way to the bus, and in the snow, it's beautiful. It's been absolutely beautiful. The birds are back. The spring, you can really. It's walking through those woods that you can tell. Yeah, the winter's really finally over. The birds are all out in the morning now, and there's light. So thank you again.
Anyone else?
I'm Bill Drummond, 840 Hillsdale Avenue. I also want to thank the council for voting positively for Tandy. I know that, it seems like if they build the 3 houses there, you're still going to have 9 acres there, but in reality, you're going to lose an open space. It's not going to be open to the public. It's going to be private land if it's developed. You're taking away the upland dry part. You're going to impact the wetlands significantly. You're going to impact the water drainage into my house significantly too. So I just want to, thank you for voting the way it went tonight, and hopefully continue to vote positively for this in the future. Thank you.
Anyone else wishing to address the guest, ma'am?
Mikey Drummond, 840 Hillsdale Avenue. I again appreciate your dedication to try and preserve what small little special area that Hillsdale has. I agree that there's some work ahead, but it's really valuable for longevity that this is preserved. The concerns really need to be looked at. Preserving has a very special uniqueness. If we add more houses or traffic, there are huge concerns with some of that. And I just want to say that this woods also has a vernal pond, which has not really been kind of brought up, but that's an extremely special, unique kind of part of this woods. So if you haven't walked through it, again, Julie mentioned the snow, walk through it in the snow and then come see it in the springtime, and there's really nothing like it in town that will mirror this. So thank you for your attention.
Anyone else? Okay, I'm going to close the meeting to the public. Okay, we have an ordinance for adoption and.
Before, Max, my fault, because I didn't tell Sue that I wanted to do a finance committee report. So as a new council member, sometimes I
Why don't you
forget to.
do it on the last go-around?
Really? Is that okay? Fine. Very good.
Because I want to get through this so we can have our attorney report to us. But
Very
we have
good.
to do him in closed session.
Fine.
Jason, you're looking at me, you want to say something?
No.
Don't look at me.
Looking good, Mayor.
No, you're not. You have nefarious intentions. 1508, an ordinance to amend ordinance 1413, provide for and determine the rate, amount, and method of payment of compensation to persons holding certain offices and positions of employment in the borough of Hillsdale, county of Bergen, state of New Jersey. At this point in time, I'm going to ask for a motion to open the public hearing to the public. Ordinance 1508.
Motion?
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, I open the meeting to the public. Anyone wishing to talk to us about 1508 and 1508 only? Seeing no one, I close the meeting to the public. I entertain a motion that the public hearing be closed on 1508. And that it
Motion.
be resolved that this ordinance was posted on the bulletin board on which the public notices are customarily posted and published in the Ridgewood News. Copies of said ordinance were made available to the general public. Now therefore be it resolved that this ordinance be adopted and the clerk is advertised the same according to law. Motion to close public hearing on 1508.
Motion.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to adopt 1508.
Motion.
Second.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember DeGeis? Yes. Councilmember DeRosa?
Yes.
Councilmember Lewis?
Yes.
Councilmember Rocco?
Yes.
Council President Pizzella?
Yes.
Okay, 1509, an ordinance to amend and supplement ordinance 0901, chapter 138 fees and chapter 71 swimming pool commission. I'll ask for a motion to open this hearing on ordinance 1509.
Motion.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, I open the meeting to the public on 1509 and 1509 only. Anyone wishing to talk about 1509? Seeing no one, I close it. I will now entertain a motion that the public hearing on ordinance 1509 be closed and about be resolved that this ordinance was posted on the bulletin board in which public notices are customarily posted and published in the Ridgewood News. Copies of said ordinance was made available to the general public. Now therefore be it resolved that this ordinance will be adopted and the clerk is authorized to advertise the same according to law. Motion to close public hearing on 1509.
Motion.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion to adopt ordinance 1509.
Motion.
Second.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilmembers DeGeis? Yes. Councilmember DeRosa?
Yes.
Councilmember Lewis?
Yes.
Councilmember Rocco?
Yes.
Council President Pizzella?
Yes.
1510, this is an introduction. Calendar year 2015, ordinance to exceed the municipal budget appropriation limits and to establish a cap bank. Be it resolved that ordinance 15, okay, motion?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember DeGeis? Yes. Councilmember DeRosa?
Yes.
Councilmember Lewis?
Yes.
Councilmember Rocco?
Yes.
Council President Pizzella?
Yes.
Be it resolved that ordinance 1510 does now pass a first reading and said ordinance be further considered for final passage at a meeting of the mayor and council in the municipal building, 380 Hillsdale Avenue, New Jersey, on April 14th. And at said time and place, all persons interested will be given an opportunity to be heard concerning the same. And the clerk is hereby authorized and directed to publish said ordinance in the Ridgewood News once, at least, 1 week prior to said hearing, with a notice of introduction of the time and place when said ordinance would be considered for final passage. Okay, resolutions, if anyone wants anything pulled off of it, please let me know, but I'll read them all first. 15066, authorized off-premise merchandise raffle, American Legion Post 162. 15067, authorize the execution of an interlocal agreement for the established public safety answering point system by and between the Borough of Paramus and the Borough of Hillsdale. 15068, authorize lien for snow removal from sidewalk at block 1107, lot 9, 54 Riverside Drive. 15069, refund tax payment, block 1412, lot 284, lot 1, 284 Hillsdale Avenue, Porus, in the amount of $3,187.55. 15070, approval of municipal grant fiscal year 2016. 15071, authorized execution of agreement with BCUA for recycling, certified recycling professional assistance for annual tonnage grant. 15072, authorized purchases exceeding the bid threshold made through the state of New Jersey contract persons. 15073, reconfirming resolution for the purchase of a 2015 Ford F-450 Mason dump. 15074, award contract for the year 2015 landscape chemical and fertilization through SOCCP to True Green Limited Partnership in the amount of $5,631, first year. 15078, authorized Negley Engineering to submit annual stormwater report for 2014, not to exceed $2,640, due May 2nd, 2015. 15079, award contract for First Environment to perform NJDEP air pollution control permit at Centennial Field in the amount not to exceed $13,500. Does anyone want anything pulled or voted on separately?
I just had a question. I don't necessarily, on three of them. Would that require that we pull it? Okay. Can we pull 70, 72, and 78?
78, that's Negley Engineering.
73 and 78.
72 and 70.
72 is the purchase bid threshold for the state of New Jersey. 73.
No, I didn't ask for, no, Max.
Reaffirming the purchase of the Mason Dixon.
Max, I didn't ask that 73 be pulled.
Which was the third one?
70, 72, and 78.
70, approval of municipal alliance grant?
Yes.
Okay. Everything except 70, 72, and 78. Motion, please? Motion. Second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember DeGeis? Yes. Councilmember DeRosa?
Yes.
Councilmember Lewis?
Yes.
Councilmember Rocco?
Yes.
Council President Pizzella?
Yes.
Okay, approval of municipal alliance grant fiscal 2016, 15070. You had a question?
Yeah, my question was just who actually does prepare the strategic?
Can we move it first before we? Motion. Please.
Second.
Oh, I'm sorry, yeah. Okay, question?
Yeah, my question was just who actually does prepare that strategic plan that's alluded to in that resolution?
That comes from the county.
So
From the county.
they prepare the plan?
Yep.
Okay. And then on 70.
No, we got to do them separately. No,
I see what
if you're
you're
satisfied, I'll take a
Right.
vote. Okay, roll call.
Sorry. Roll call is Councilmember DeGeis? Yes. Councilmember DeRosa?
Yes.
Councilmember Lewis?
Yes.
Councilmember Rocco?
Yes.
Council President Pizzella?
Yes.
15072, authorized purchase exceeding the bid threshold made through the state of New Jersey contract purchase.
Motion.
Second.
I just wanted to get the background on why this was necessary. As a new councilperson, I'm just trying to get through, so maybe Mark can explain.
Sure. We exceed the bid threshold even with our QPA on this purchase, so we would generally then have to go out for public bidding. However, you're allowed to then purchase off the state contract because the state already gives you the very best price you can get. So we're going to exceed bid threshold, and but we're allowed to make those purchases through the state contract despite exceeding the bid threshold.
And what purchase is that, Mark? Is that?
I think this just generally authorizes us to utilize the state contract.
I see.
It doesn't appear to have any specific reference to a vehicle or anything else. Am I wrong?
Yeah, it's nothing new. It's a very general that Mr. Beneke suggested we do to cover us from here on out. It could be a Mason dump truck, it could be equipment, it could be supplies. That's why he added a couple little things just to get us started so that it just is a broad-based that we're allowed to do this.
Okay, he feels that's necessary.
That he suggested this is his wording.
This is not something we've done in the past,
No.
but it's one of the better safe than sorry type things.
Yeah, I see. Okay.
I also
All right, on that one? So we have a motion, a second, roll call, please.
Wait, do you have something else?
I just wanted to say, I recall from the class that we took on the budget that they actually recommended that this be done by municipalities as a safe measure.
All right. Michael?
Sorry. Councilmember DeGeis? Yes. Councilmember DeRosa?
Yes.
Councilmember Myerson? Sorry, Lewis?
Yes.
Councilmember Rocco?
Yes.
Council President Pizzella?
Yes.
Okay, authorize Negley Engineering to submit annual stormwater report for year 2014 not to exceed $2,640 due May 2nd, 15078. Motion, please.
Second.
Okay.
Yeah, my questions were just like, what is this and why is it necessary?
It's an annual thing that we do every year. I didn't know we paid extra for it. I don't remember.
We did it last year.
We did?
Yes, we did.
But what is the purpose of the report? What does it look at? What is it?
It's a report it's a DEP report, and it's done annually, and there's a lot of different information that's put into it. For example, last year, Meredith with the Environmental Commission sat at one of the days, I think it was the Beehive Day also, where they had a table, and they gave out stormwater, so we get points for that. It's a lot of things that go together with the state. Again, we get credit for doing these things, and it does outfalls, infalls, it's stormwater. It's stuff that the engineer gets involved with to help out with the DPW superintendent. And Donnie does not feel comfortable quite yet the first year through doing it on his own. So he has asked for some assistance to make sure it's filed the proper way with the DEP.
So Neglia will do this report. They'll
Right,
put it together.
Donnie's going to work with him on it and learn even more so, and then hopefully next year Donnie will be able to do it himself without even Neglia doing it.
Okay.
All right, we have motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Councilmember DeGeis? Yes. Councilmember DeRosa?
Yes.
Councilmember Lewis?
Yes.
Councilmember Rocco?
Yes.
Council President Pizzella?
Yes.
Okay, off consent, 15075 bill list. Motion to approve.
Motion.
Second.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember DeGeis?
Yes on all bills except for anything to do with the fire department.
Councilmember DeRosa?
Yes.
Councilmember Lewis?
Yes.
Councilmember Rocco?
Yes.
Council President Pizzella?
Yes.
15076, authorized raffle wheels and games raffle license 714 Hillsdale Volunteer Fire Department, May 4th to May 9th, 2015. Motion to approve.
Motion.
Second.
Second, Pizzella.
Thank you.
Roll call.
Councilmember DeGeis?
Abstain.
Councilmember DeRosa?
Yes.
Councilmember Lewis?
Yes.
Councilmember Rocco?
Yes.
Council President Pizzella?
Yes.
Okay, we'll go on last go-round, and John, I'll go to you first so you can give your report.
Okay, thanks, Mayor. Wanted to give everyone a budget update. The Finance Committee completed all its meetings with the departments, the last being the Borough Administrative Clerk Finance Department and also the Planning Board. We're in the process of assessing capital budget priorities, particularly on the DPW. They've included several pieces of new and used equipment in their capital budget. They've also, we've put in a road maintenance program, but we don't have a good number yet on that. We're going to have to work with Sue, the DPW, with Mr. Beneke, and with Neglia Engineering to narrow down that number. We've shared all this information with Mr. Beneke. Last week, the Finance Committee reviewed with Mr. Beneke a baseline budget taken from his extrapolation of last year's prior budget and the actual numbers from 2014. We reconciled it to our own departmental requests. There were still some holes at that point. They've been addressed now, mainly the Centennial Field landfill closure compliance efforts, which we put in an estimate for that of about $175,000. We scheduled a meeting with Mr. Beneke for March 16th, later this week. Well, I guess it's next week. To review the budget again, and the expectation, and this is an informal polling of the Finance Committee, is that we will likely have to make significant cuts to the budget that is going to be coming in, because with all the different requests, it's going to result in a situation that I don't think the Finance Committee wants, in a road that the Finance Committee wants to go down in terms of tax increases. So we're likely to have to make significant cuts. The proposed budget schedule for the council, you asked me to report back to you. Monday, March 23rd is the preliminary review and the presentation. It's a special meeting that will be open to the public, and I guess, Sue, we have to...
we have to advertise.
We have to advertise that.
If you feel that's the firm date, then we'll
Yes.
start. So.
Yes, and these are the dates that the Finance Committee
Anybody have
cleared
a problem with that?
with Bob Beneke.
Well, that's a fire department meeting. It's a
Wow.
fourth.
We've gotta
No,
get
I
the
understand.
budget done.
Is there any way Tuesday's not good?
I don't believe Tuesday was available for Bob,
Okay.
I
Well,
think.
he suggested we did it on a Monday, so
Oh.
if there was any further
So
question,
that-
discussion, or
Right.
anything else that had to be
He wanted to make himself
ironed out
available
for the week.
for the week if anybody from council
Questions.
had questions
Okay.
specifically to him.
Yeah. April 14th would be the introduction of the budget, and with that starts a required 28-day period by law for the reading for the reading period, I guess you call it, for the public.
For the public to read.
And then May 12th would hopefully be the public hearing and adoption of the budget. So that concludes my report on the Finance Committee.
Okay, do you have anything on your normal last go-round?
Yeah, I do. I just wanted to congratulate the George White girls basketball team. It's a good achievement, and having them all here tonight was a good thing for the council to participate in. I also want to congratulate Ryan Ennis as the latest Hillsdale Fire Cadet. I want to announce that the senior lunch, next senior lunch, is going to be Wednesday, March 18th at 11:30 at St. John the Baptist Church. I guess they have planned some wonderful Irish fare. By the end of the month, we'll all have our fill of corned beef and cabbage, but it's good to overdose on it in the month of March. The Senior Citizens Day at Pascagoula Valley High School is scheduled for Tuesday, April 16th from 8:30 to 2:30. Seniors who enroll will attend classes, enjoy the band performance, dine with students at breakfast and lunch. You should contact Stephanie Tomaselli at 201-358-7060, extension 24003 if you're interested in attending. I want to advertise, I guess, for the Boy Scouts. As a former Eagle Scout, the Boy Scout Troop 108 is having their pancake breakfast on Saturday, March 21st. 8 to 12 at the United Methodist Church. They really do a good job under Tom Arcaro Sr., so I would encourage residents to attend this. It's for a nominal fee. I think it's like $4 or $5. And finally, there's a free hearing clinic Wednesday, April 15th, 10 to 12:45 at the Borough Hall. You do need an appointment for this, and you should call to make one at 201-666-4800, extension 1552.
Okay,
You
Frank?
need that hearing.
Frank, you want to go?
Sure. I'd like to let everybody know, I was asked by the library to just let everybody know that Maker's Day is going to be held March 21st, and you can get information on that at the Hillsdale Library, myhillsdalelibrary.org. You can also check out New Jersey, njmakersday.org as well. I'd like to update everybody on the local Board of Ed. I was at the meeting yesterday, and I'm happy to say that the Board of Ed and the Teachers Union have reached agreement on a contract. They're waiting for the final approval. And I'd also like to congratulate Mr. Sal Cilio as well as Ms. Shane Zvorek, who are new members of the board. Mr. Cilio was sworn in last night. And congratulate the girls' basketball team. And also say, you know, I have never been on the Finance Committee. And I want to thank John and Larry. They really have been doing a great job, and I've been learning a lot being on it. It's my first time there. And, you know, we're really trying our best to make sure that we get a solid budget for Hillsdale and that we approach reinvestment in the town in a practical and in a circumspect way. And I look forward to our continued cooperation and working with them. And Councilman Morrison is a blast. I mean, he really is. When we're at the meeting, he's a lot of fun to work with. So I just wanted to let everybody know that that's going very well. Thank you.
Jason?
Happy St. Patrick's Day for everybody coming up. It's nice to look at the weather report and see no snow on the 5-day forecast. I'm sure the town, everybody gets a little break. Again, congratulations to the girls' basketball team, and Sean, adding you to the historical committee is like putting on a perfect size glove. I know you'll do a great job over there. It's such an interest of yours, and I've had many conversations with you, and you really do a fantastic job with it. Thank you.
That's it? Anthony?
I'd also like to welcome Sean. Can't think of anybody better for that spot. Congratulations to Mr. Walden and the girls' George White basketball team, and also Ryan Ennis. I attended the regional school board meeting last night. Just an update on the tennis courts at Pascagoula Valley. As you might imagine, with the weather, any kind of construction has been on hold. But the county, as soon as they can get there, will begin picking up where they left off on the new tennis courts, which they're hopeful would be open by halfway through the tennis season. Then the issue of the old tennis courts, which they're not going to take down until the new ones are available. They're going to study that as far as the best way to improve that egress and entrance there. So that probably won't take place till after the school year. Interesting on park testing. In the high school, about 50% of the families at Hills decided not to participate in the park testing, and 27 at Pascack Valley. That seems to be, that mirrors some of the other municipality or school sections, and the state's going to have to weigh in on that pretty soon. On the social media side, Borough Attorney was good enough to send me additional information on best practices. This happens to be the Borough of Wyckoff. So we've got two recommended ways of handling a Facebook page. I got that yesterday. I just need some time to review that, and I'll probably come back next month and present to the council on that. January 1st Ambulance Corps meeting bears mentioning that the borough contributes an amount to the ambulance corps, but it's a relatively small amount, and they do all their own fundraising, and they are desperately in need of a new ambulance. They will be starting fundraising very shortly. So I encourage you, if unfortunately you had to need of the ambulance, you didn't get charged for anything, so if you might consider that in the form of a donation to help them out. The DPW will be working on potholes now that the snow seems to be done. And as a matter of fact, they were out today trying to work on them, so they'll be making that job one. Also attended my first fire officers meeting. Of course, Councilman Lewis is commissioner there, but I'm one of two other people on that group, so I just wanted to kind of see what it's all about. You get an appreciation for the work and preparation that the officers and the firefighters do. On the Rec Commission, again, Borough Attorney got back to me with additional information on bylaws of other municipalities. I'm going to present that to the Rec Commission in a week. And happy St. Patrick's Day, that's it.
Okay. My congratulations to everybody, Lieutenant Smith and Ryan Ennis, additions to our emergency services. And as I said before, my piece on the George White team, it just was, like I said, what I really enjoyed about it, the sense of community that was at that school. And even though it was just the school, they were actually playing our neighbor Rivervale in the finals. And these kids all with social media know each other anyway. It's not like they're playing somebody they don't know. But it was just, the stands were full. Everybody was excited. It, you know, it was just, there was energy. It was like, it was an 8th grade girls basketball game, and you would have thought it was, you know, some big league games. So it was just, it was great to see that sense of community with the youth, and I encourage them to continue supporting each other. This morning I was with the borough administrator and the mayor and our superintendent from the DPW, and we were at a safety meeting with the GIF, and I guess I stole somebody's thunder, but we received the Gold Award, the highest award for safety, and I'm just very proud of our safety committee and the members on it, the time they put in, the effort, and the fact that we were recognized, and it wasn't, out of 34 municipalities, I think only 6 got gold, so it is an achievement. So congratulations to everybody, and happy St. Patrick's Day. We're all Irish on St. Patrick's Day, I guess.
Nothing, except for what we have in class.
I just want to reiterate what everyone has said. Congratulations to all of our newbies, and Sean, you'll do a great job. We talked about a couple things already about what he wants to do. Put little feelers out there. It was quite an honor to sit at the GIF breakfast this morning and be able to receive this award for Hillsdale. It's very nice to see the recognition, the hard work of everybody that's been there, everybody doing their part as employees and watching what they do and be careful and aware. So it's our safety committee does work well. On the other hand, going to just very briefly, I'd like to discuss about I'm going to be addressing the council about appointing a QPA. So what we could do is go into closed session. I can go over details with you if you want to come back out. I don't think we'll need any action right at the moment, but, you know, we'll see. I'll defer that to our attorneys. And that should be it for now, for me. Thank you.
Having the kids here tonight on the basketball, remind me, whatever happened with the high school?
They never, we couldn't, I kept going back and forth with the Rivervale, and they changed over, new mayor. Last month, I asked again, when do you want to get together? We've got March meetings, and they never came back to me.
I have to say, the high school, because my son's on the team, it just got recognized by the Board of Ed at February's meeting, so if we want to do it, I don't think, in our next meeting, it's not that late considering, I was surprised
I will reach out one more time.
Yeah.
I mean, truthfully, we don't have to do it with Riverville if they can't,
We can invite
just
the
do it.
players.
It's up to you guys. But I can tell you that knowing some of these girls and the awards we've given in the past to these young people, it means a lot to them to be recognized at a mayor and council meeting. And, when you have an achievement, while I gave the father of one of the daughters a hard time in doing it because I give him a hard time all the time, it is important. All right? I want to thank everyone for putting up with the snow. Not that I brought the snow, but it's not the easiest thing when you have a town the size of ours, the DPW the size of ours, to get the job done. In my opinion, we did do a good job. One of the things that the town has to do, and if you read the record over the weekend, it's something I've been talking about, is balance. How much salt you put down versus every one of those salt crystals eventually ends up into our water supply, and now they're going to start diluting the water supply with water from areas outside of this area because of the salt content. So, and we ran into a situation at Tuesday night, which was our last meeting, with Donnie reported to us that with that ice storm and our limited supply of salt, and all I can say is I feel our DPW, our superintendent, did a great job, and I want to thank them. Sue, I want to make sure we're all working towards the parade, whoever's on that we're set on that.
Ready with Councilman DeRosa.
Now that Sean is on the Historic Committee, I want to reiterate, I want a letter to go to all the members of the Historic Committee, set up a meeting, you pick the date, if they can make it, fine, if they can't. And the main people I need there is Peter and Sean. I want to move this committee forward and find out what they want to do, what help we need to give them, and move forward. The only thing you didn't say about the water, at least I didn't hear you, Chris, is we got $3 grand. Two. Well, we got $2,000, and that's not a kick in the eye. So I want to thank all of our employees and everyone that worked towards getting that, and I look forward to when we honor our employees at our annual breakfast. With that, I'm going to ask for a motion to go to close.
Motion. Second.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Mark, you want to say your thing?
Correct, Mayor. There'll be a resolution to go into closed. Of course, that motion is subject to the Open Public Meetings Act. We have, we'll be going into closed in order to discuss several matters of closed, which include litigation, potential litigation, and matters of attorney-client privilege. These would include personnel issues with regard to the CFO, Board of Health issues, building issues, DPW and police grievance update, the personnel handbook update, as well as the QPA, as Sue indicated a few moments ago, and matters of potential litigation. If that's acceptable to everyone, the roll should be called in order to
roll
go
call
into closed.
Councilmember DeGeis? Yes. Councilmember DeRosa?
Yes.
Councilmember Lewis?
Yes.
Councilmember Rocco?
Yes.
Council President Vizella?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. We'll take a 2-minute break.
Take care, Sean. Good to see you.
Thank you, Sean.